And Britain's biggest steel producer, Tatar Steel, is asking the government for £500 million to survive the coronavirus lockdown. The company's biggest customers, including car manufacturers, have halted production across Europe because of the pandemic. Well, the request is said to be in discussion with the Treasury and the Department for Business, Energy and Industrial Strategy. More than 100 migrants have been detained by Border Force officials in the last 48 hours while trying to cross the English Channel. They're understood to be Iranian, Kuwaiti and Iraqi. 864 migrants have attempted the crossing so far this year, with more than half of these arriving since the country went into lockdown on March the 23rd.
2 weeks after being discharged from hospital, where he spent time in intensive care with coronavirus.
Boris Johnson has been recuperating at his country retreat, Chequers, but has held talks with senior ministers. More than 20,000 people have now died with Covid-19 in British hospitals, and there's growing pressure for the government to explain how it plans to ease the lockdown.
The armed forces are going to start testing key workers and their families who have symptoms in hard-to-reach areas of the UK. The new mobile facilities can be set up in 20 minutes and will travel to police and fire stations, care homes, prisons and benefits centres. The government has set itself a target of completing 100,000 tests a day by Thursday. Let's take a look at some of the Sunday newspapers. Start with the Sunday Telegraph here. Big old picture of the Prime Minister returning to work, as we say, tomorrow. And curiously, a quote here from the Prime Minister. Very Johnsonian quote, this, where he quotes Cicero, the Roman statesman, saying something in Latin, but it translates as the health of the people should be the supreme law. And I guess it gets to that sense, doesn't it, of the extent to which his own experience of coronavirus will play into his analysis of how we should all deal with it.
Yeah, it was thought that perhaps he was slightly more inclined to easing restrictions sooner rather than later, prior to him being infected. But his position may have changed. Sunday Times alludes to the fact that there are one or two disagreements within Cabinet, which is what's been talked about for some time now. And they talk about senior Conservative Party members telling the Prime Minister that it is time to ease the lockdown. Real concern about the health impact of the lockdown carrying on, as well as, of course, the economic impact.
Let's take a look at the Sunday Mirror, and it's leading on a call from Sir Keir Starmer, the new Labour leader, effectively saying, tell us more about how the restrictions will be eased. And this quote that we've heard regularly targeting the government, saying, stop treating us like children, you can give us more information, is the thrust of what Sir Keir Starmer is saying, whilst accepting that we have to stick to the rules for now. And
just this one then from the Mail on Sunday. They're talking about a new immunity test. There's been this search, hasn't there, for an effective antibody test. Well, it's believed that scientists have been involved in something that's cheap, effective, efficient and could be what's been described as a game changer in the whole battle against this virus.
But the death toll from Covid-19 is still rising. By Friday evening, another 813 people had succumbed to the virus in UK hospitals, bringing the official total to more than 20,000. But the numbers will be higher when deaths in care homes and the community are counted.